Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a 5-minute dive straight into the mind of one of AI's key architects, Demis Hassabis, the head of Google DeepMind. We're going to try to map out his grand vision for achieving artificial general intelligence, or AGI. What is it? What does it mean for all of us? And just how close is it, really? All right, let's get into it.
You know, this one sentence, this right here, is pretty much the mission statement for his entire life's work. It's so ambitious, right? The goal was never just to build smarter apps. No, it's to create a tool so powerful it could help humanity crack our biggest problems. We're talking everything from curing diseases to solving climate change. That's the scale of the ambition we're looking at.
So if we're going to talk about this epic quest, we first need to agree on the destination. What is this AGI that everybody's in a mad dash to build?
Now, when Hassabis talks about AGI, he's being very specific. This isn't about an AI that's a genius at just one thing, like playing Go or writing code. No, this is about a system that can think, learn, and generalize its smarts across all the things we humans can do. And think about it, the human mind isn't just a good model. It's the only proof we have that this kind of flexible, do-it-all intelligence can even exist in the universe.
Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. Where are we on this map? How close are we to actually getting there? Are we just getting started, or are we, knocking on the door? Well, right from the start, DeepMind basically had a countdown clock running. Hassabis started the company with a roughly 20-year plan to crack AGI. And when you look at this timeline, you realize, wow, we're not at the beginning anymore. We are deep into this journey. By their own schedule, we are heading into the final stretch. And get this is where it starts to feel really real. Hassabis himself says there's a 50-50 chance we'll have AGI in the next 5 to 10 years. Let that sink in. We're not talking about some far-off sci-fi future. That's a timeline that's going to play out in our careers, in our lifetimes.
So that leads to a pretty logical question, right? If you've messed around with any of the AI chatbots out there, you know they're amazing, but you also feel they're not quite there. So if AGI is that close, what are the missing pieces of the puzzle?
Hassabis is really upfront about this. He says today's systems have some pretty big holes. For one, they struggle with genuine reasoning and planning ahead. They can't come up with truly new scientific ideas from nothing. And maybe most telling, their performance is all over the place. An AI that can solve a crazy hard math Olympiad problem but then fails at a simple high school algebra question, that isn't general intelligence. It's spotty. It's brittle.
You know how old maps used to say, "Here be dragons" in the unexplored territories? Well, this journey is no different. As we get closer to the goal of AGI, the stakes get way, way higher. And the dragons, they get much more real.
One of the scariest dragons is just not knowing how AGI will show up. Will it be a hard takeoff, where one company or country gets it first and just shoots so far ahead that it's game over for everyone else? A true winner-takes-all world. Or will it be more incremental? Hassabis kind of leans towards the second view, arguing that even a superintelligence still has to build things in the slow, messy physical world. But honestly, he says nobody really knows for sure.
So Hassabis says we need to worry about two totally separate things. First, the obvious one. Bad guys, malicious actors, rogue states, you name it, getting their hands on this tech and using it for harm. But the second one is way trickier. It's the technical safety problem. As these AIs get more and more autonomous, how can we be 100% sure we can control them? How do we build guardrails that absolutely cannot be broken?
Okay, so let's zoom in from those giant global risks. What does all this mean for our day-to-day lives, for our jobs? What skills are actually going to matter in a world that's about to be totally transformed by AI?
In the short term, the vision is actually super exciting. Hassabis thinks we are walking into a golden era of productivity. The idea isn't that AI just takes your job. Instead, it's like getting a superpower. It's a tool that's going to supercharge your own skills, making you more creative, more effective, just plain better at what you do.
And this doctor versus nurse example is a perfect way to think about it. The analytical, data-driven parts of a doctor's job, like diagnosis. Yeah, an AI is going to be amazing at that. But the human part, the empathy, the care, the connection a nurse provides, that becomes even more valuable because that's something a machine just can't fake.
So what should you be doing right now to get ready? The message is crystal clear. You can't be a spectator.
You have to jump in and play with these systems. You don't need to be a top coder, but understanding the basic STEM ideas behind them is huge. The real winners will be the people who become expert users, who master stuff like fine-tuning models and writing killer prompts. That's the new digital literacy.
All right, let's look at the end game. What's the ultimate prize at the end of this whole quest? If we pull this off, Hassabis talks about entering an era of radical abundance. But getting there brings us face to face with one final and very human test.
So what does radical abundance even mean? Well, think of it like this. Imagine a core problem, like energy. If AGI helps us crack clean, almost free renewable energy, like nuclear fusion, think of the domino effect. All of a sudden, making fresh water from the ocean, desalination, becomes super cheap and easy to do anywhere. And just like that, you've solved the global water crisis. You don't just solve one problem, you solve the root problem that unlocks dozens of other solutions.
And this quote, this really gets to the heart of his perspective. He's saying, look, in a world facing all these massive challenges, climate change, pandemics, you name it, AGI isn't just another thing to be scared of. It might be the only tool we have that's powerful enough to give us a real shot at fixing everything else.
But, and this is a huge but, here's the final twist. Is a lack of technology really our main problem? Humanity already lives in a world with incredible abundance, and yet we're terrible at sharing it. We operate with what he calls a zero-sum game mentality, constantly fighting over a pie that's already huge.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? This whole quest for AGI might solve our biggest technical problems, energy, disease, scarcity, but the final test has nothing to do with technology. It's about us. Can a tool that creates unimaginable abundance actually change our human nature? Or will we just invent new, bigger ways to fight over an even bigger pie? That's the question we're all going to have to answer.